What are two remotes? That's weird. What's up? I don't have those right now. Penises? Okay. Glasses, I know. Yep, I had my contacts out for a little bit. They're kind of bugging me. So now I'm just dealing with glares and shit. Oh well. Feels life. So I gotta get things organized here. Time thing or faces? What does that mean? Oh, the emotes. The emotes. I gotcha. Be hard tonight. Words do be hard. Words do be hard. All right. Damn. Yeah, I'm just trying to get everything set up. There's a fuck ton of documents in this Daggerheart, stuff. So okay. All right. So tonight, we are going to be talking about some Daggerheart stuff. Now, originally, I did not plan on tonight being about Daggerheart. But seeing that it is now available, I figure we can go through. I have talked to a couple other people about this. I kind of want to do this myself, because I've talked to a couple other people today about this, and over the last couple weeks have been in talks with other members of the community, those who have had the opportunity to play this, other creators who have had the opportunity to see this material early, just to really get like an idea about what it was really going to look like. So I'm super excited to get my hands on it. It's been a long day. This is really like one of the first times that I've had my actual hands on it. I like how the first name that's in here for like your own name is just Dracula backwards. So that's hilarious. So yeah. My plan for this tonight is I want to go through, I want to look at the materials, and I want to make my character. I want to make Lakis Powalski the halfling bard, or whatever race. I mean, halfling is a thing in there, so probably what we'll lean towards, but we got a lot of options. And I kind of want to see all of them, but more than likely we're going to go bard, but we are going to look at everything. I have every class package opened up and available. So we have all that here in front of us, but we're gonna go ahead and make Lakis Powalski the halfling bard, and I should be able. Yeah, cool. I can type in there. Awesome. All right. So for those of you that don't know, Daggerheart is the tabletop RPG that is made by Darrington Press. If you don't know Darrington Press, that is the publishing company that was started by the Critical Role group. Darrington Press has also put out Candela Obscura. They're also the publishing company behind Tal'Dorei Remastered. So anything that has to do with Critical Role, that is Darrington Press. And this, whereas Candela Obscura was more of a was more of kind of like them digging into the Call of Cthulhu, Vampire the Masquerade, more RP heavy role-playing games. Daggerheart is definitely the more D&D high fantasy action adventure tabletop RPG, where, you know, combat is a regular thing, whereas in Candela Obscura, it's very much more built around the whatchamacallits, the role playing. So yeah, and it looks like I'm already looking through it. It looks like, oh shit, it looks like the bard. It looks like actually probably each. Yeah, okay. So it looks like each class has a lot of the same documents as what I have pulled up individually. So we are going to probably see a lot more. We're probably going to see some of the same things here and there. But we're going to start here at character creation, because that is where we need to start. So one of the things that makes Daggerheart different, right now I'm just on the website character creator. Gotcha. Yeah, that's what, if I'm not mistaken, that's on Demiplane, I believe. Maybe I should sign in. I could probably just do that. Be easy enough. Yeah, I could do that. Maybe I'll do that off to the side. This way we, so I have something at the end. All right, so actually, let's do it this way. Hold on. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna move this over to there on my screen. I'm gonna put this Wait, actually, no, that's gonna make things difficult. Here, we'll just move everything over to one window. All right, and we'll change this to that. All right, so obviously one of the things that makes this different, one of the things that makes Daggerheart different from other tabletop RPGs is the fact that your class determines a lot of everything, much like in every other RPG, but there are class-specific character sheets. So if you are playing a bard, you literally need a bard character sheet. If you are playing a druid, you need a druid character sheet. So, and as you can see, there's not a lot that's different between them when we switch back and forth. But what it does have is that each one has its own class features, which gets its own, you know, little blurb there in the corner. So again, we're mainly going to be looking at the bard. I do have all the other classes pulled up. But yeah, so much like any other TTRPG, you choose class, subclass, heritage instead of race. Will you talk about Whims of Luck and Fate? I don't know if I'm going to have time. I don't know. I want to mainly look at Daggerheart for right now, so I have no clue if I'm even going to look at Whims of Luck and Fate today. Then we're going to set our traits and evasion. So distribute the values. Distribute the values -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2. So this is just modifiers. If we look into this comparatively to if we look at this comparatively to D&D, then that is basically saying that we have a score of 8 to 9. We have 2 at either 10 or 11. We have 2 at 12 and 13, and we have 1 at 14/15. Which, in reality, if you were going like standard array, where you would get, you know, you would have, what is it, 9? Oh God, it's been so long since I used standard array. Yeah, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So with the D&D setup, you would have a -1, a 0, 2 1s, and 2 2s. So there is a little bit of a difference. There, you know, D&D's is a little bit of a higher, you know, a higher capacity. But hey, it's fine. So when rolling, yeah, okay. So set your threshold and hope. So each class starts with its own damage threshold, detailed on the character sheet under hit points. So that is right there. And I guess we'll look at the druid might be similar. Yeah, but is there guardian? I think it's like a paladin. So maybe it's a little, nope, exactly the same. Yeah, I'm not sure. So each class starts with its own damage thresholds detailed on the character sheet under the hit point section. Oh, wait, actually, there we are. Start at 3 minor, 8 major, and 13 severe. Okay, 6 minor, 11 major, severe, 16. So it's actually right here. It's kind of hard to see that on the screen, but there we go. So that's what we're looking at. So as a bard, we are 3 minor. So I believe what that means is that if we take 3 points of damage, it's considered like minor damage. If we take 8 points of damage, it's major damage. And if we take 13, it's severe. And if we take minor damage, we lose 1 hit point. If we take major damage, we knock down 2. Severe, we knock down 3. And we only have 6 hit points. So now the Guardian looks like they have, 6, 11, and 16. So they are considerably more hardy than us, which we are a bard, so it makes total sense. All right. So step 6, choose starting weapons. Okay, starting armor. Take your starting inventory, choose your description from the different options, and then we take our domain cards, which domains play into what's at the top of the character sheet here. So these are the domains: Grace and Codex, Sage and Arcana, Valor and Blade, and these are shared. There's actually like there's a really interesting diagram where, like, here we go, Ranger. So Ranger and Druid are the only 2 that have Sage. And then Druid and I believe, Wizard would be the only 2. Oh yeah, Codex, sorry. Bard and Wizard have Codex. And is it Sorcerer? Yeah, Sorcerer has the other Arcana. So it's an interesting way to look at it, since domains is more about, like, kind of the style of the class. Now, me personally, I kind of know the subclass that I'm going to go with, because with the Bard, the one is the Wordsmith, which is what I plan on going with. But we'll keep looking at these. Okay, so we answer the background questions, generate experience, use all the choices background to generate experience, to set a narrative, or a set of narrative words or phrases that represent the kinds of things they've learned or become in their adventures. Assign 1 + 2 and the other +1s as their starting values. Record your name and pronouns, and create connections. So, all right, so obviously we are going to play a bard. And over here, if you are not a member of Demiplane, I highly suggest signing up for it. We've talked about Demiplane before. If you are unfamiliar, Demiplane is actually a website where you can play a number of different RPGs. As you can see here on the side, they have the Daggerheart Playt, the Alien RPG, Pathfinder 2 Remastered, Avatar, Vampire, the Marvel Multiverse RPG, Candela Obscura, the other Darrington Press property we talked about, and Starfinder 2 will be coming to it. And the thing is that if you are familiar with D&D Beyond, Demiplane will seem very comfortable and similar, because they were actually developed originally, by the same group, the same group that made D&D Beyond back whenever it was still owned by Fandom. When they got bought out by Wizards of the Coast, they ended up going and making Demiplane, and were actually partnered with Paizo. One of the things about Paizo is they put out a lot of their own information for free out there, and they actually let you make a lot of stuff on here. So if you're playing Pathfinder, Demiplane was like a really big one, but they've worked with a lot of other different groups now, and obviously they are partnered with Darrington Press to have their things on there. Now, I find it kind of weird. If we look, it does organize it as 1, 2, 3. It's kind of out of order, because you are supposed to pick your class first. That determines a lot. But hey, we've made characters before. We've made plenty on here. We'll make many more in the future, so kind of already know what we're getting into. So first off, we're gonna choose Bard. Again, I already knew that I was gonna go Bard. There was even no question about it. But I am curious to see what the Guardian is. So, because I do want to see what some of these are. Now, the class feature of a Guardian. So I'm imagining, since we have since we have Bard, Druid, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, and Wizard that all show up in D&D proper, that means that we are missing... pull up my list here. That means that we're missing an Artificer, we're missing a Barbarian, a Cleric, a Fighter, technically, a Monk, a Paladin, and a Warlock. But in its place, we have a Guardian, a Seraph, and a Warrior. Now, my lean is going to be that Warrior is either... I'm going to guess... This is just a guess. Wait, where do I have Warrior? Oh, shit. Am I accidentally closing these out? Hold on. I think I'm accidentally closing some of these out. All right. Okay, so we got... Yeah, you know, let me just close these. I'm going to open up a different window that just has those character sheets. Because that was a bit rough. Let's do it this way. If I do it that way, then... Okay. Well, it's backward. But... let's... Cool, okay. So, yeah, so Warrior is either Blade or Bone. So, I'm guessing over here on the right-hand side, that symbol we're seeing up there is the Bone. I'm gonna guess the Bone one is the, for the Warrior, is more of a Barbarian, whereas Blade is gonna be more of a Fighter. For Guardian, this is all backwards. I loaded this in backwards and I feel dumb. There we go, we're getting them organized. Okay. So what we we got where's the Bard? Where's the Bard? Okay, Bard's number 1. Guardian. Where's the Guardian? There it is. Okay. So Guardian is Valor or Blade. So Valor to me 100% speaks to would speak to a Paladin. Blade, I'm kind of curious about what that is, but we'll get to that. Yeah, what's the other domain? So yeah, we have Bard with Grace and Codex. So Grace to me speaks a lot more to the like the what's the word? What's the one? God, it's the one that I played. Why can't I think of it? Eloquence and glamour. Like, that to me speaks more to like the persuasive Bard, whereas Codex to me is very much more into like lore and like the Arcana bards. Druid, Sage is 100% to me like the nature, the elements. I mean, obviously in this background we have some imagery of like a fireball and like a water ball. But Arcana, I could see that being more of the, more of like the, like a lore, kind of like a, not like a sage. I wanted to say sage just now, but that obviously wouldn't be the case. But I feel like it would definitely be more like somebody somebody who's intelligence based. So curious to see what that is. Wait, actually, I can pull him up. I can pull him up on the side. Never mind. Here we go. I'm going to switch. Okay, I'm going to put this. That's that. And then I can leave that up. All right, we're going to copy, paste. About here we go. Okay, so starting up at the top, we're going to start with the Bard. And actually, we'll start on the left here and we'll go down. So Arcana. This is the domain of the innate instinctual use of magic. Those who walk this path tap into the raw enigmatic the raw enigmatic forces of the realms to manipulate both the elements and their own energy. Interesting. Okay. Arcana offers wielders a volatile power, but it is incredibly potent when correctly channeled. Okay. Blade is the domain who dedicate their lives to the mastery of weapons. Whether by blade, bow, or perhaps a more specialized arm, those who follow this path have the skill to cut short the lives of others. Blade requires study and dedication from its followers in exchange for inexorable power over death. So Blade to me does 100% speak to a warrior, a blade warrior being a fighter, because fighters are more skilled at weapons. Whereas if Guardian is going that way, I'm kind of curious about what some of the abilities play into. Now, obviously, they're both the same. It's not like these represent subclasses. They don't. But I'm just very much curious about like where the design goes into these. Because obviously, warriors kind of combining, in my opinion, what probably is fighter and barbarian. Speaking of which, Bone is the mastery of swiftness and tactical mastery. Practitioners of this domain have an uncanny control over their physical abilities and an eye for predicting the behaviors of others in combat. Bone grants its adherents unparalleled understanding of bodies and their movements. What's up, TMF Phoenix? Oh boy, thank you kindly. Ever so generous of you. I don't even have my alert set up for raids. Well, thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate it. We're just looking through some Daggerheart stuff. Just trying to get an understanding of it. So thank you so much for coming by, and those who joined, thank you kindly as well. All right, so we are talking about the different domains here in Daggerheart. We've kind of glossed over Arcana, Blade, and Bone, with Arcana seeming to be more about, like, in my opinion, more like the evocation stuff, manipulation of elements, or if you're familiar with like Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls series, what might be more similar to destruction magic. He's from Jared. Oh, hey, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Jared is a great guy. Jared is a great guy. I have to give him some huggins and lovin's next time I see him. So known that turd for 13 years. Jeez, yeah, I've known oh god, I haven't known Jared that long. I've probably known Jared now for maybe 7-8 years. So it's been a while, but yeah, he's a great guy. Actually, I just saw him the other day. Got together for his kid's birthday. So it was good to have all the little ones together for the very first time. Oh boy. So but yeah, so it looks like Arcana is like destruction magic, Blade is going to be anybody who focuses more on like mastering their weapons or their fighting style. So Blade to me would probably be monk, like lean into monk and fighter. But Bone also to me seems like it might be monk. The whole idea of control over physical abilities, that is probably going to be like a barbarian style kind of thing. Codex, this is the domain of extensive magical study. So obviously that's why Bard is like that. That's why Wizard is also Codex. So this is why it's not Arcana. Those who seek magical knowledge turn to the recipes of power recorded in books, on scrolls etched into walls, or tattooed on bodies. Codex offers a commanding and versatile understanding of magic to those devotees who are willing to seek beyond the common knowledge. Interesting. Grace, this is the domain of charisma. Through rapturous storytelling, clever charm, or a shroud of lies, those who channel this power define the realities of their adversaries, bending perception to their will. Grace offers its wielders raw magnetism over mastery and language. So I'm guessing we would have Bard, and who else is Grace? Oh, okay, the Rogue. Interesting. Oh, because of like a spire and assassin. Ah, clever charm, shroud of lies. Interesting. That is cool. Midnight's the domain of shadows and secrecy, whether by clever tricks, cloak of the night. Those who channel these forces are practiced in that art of obscurity, and there is nothing hidden they cannot reach. Midnight offers practitioners the incredible power to control and create enigmas. Yeah, I figured sorcerer and rogue would be that. Sage is the domain of the natural world, those who walk this path into the unfettered power of the earth and its creatures to unleash raw magic. It grants adherents vitality of a blooming flower, ferocity of a hunger predator, so I'm guessing ranger, yep, and druid, of course. Splendor is the domain of life. Through its magic, followers gain the ability to heal. Through such power, also grants the wielder some control over death. Splendor offers disciples a magnificent ability to both given and life. Sorcerer and rogue are both midnight. They are both about like the dark and secrecy. Clever tricks, cloak of night. Yeah, control over the power to control and create enigmas. So I'm guessing that might be where a sorcerer differs from a wizard. I'm guessing it might have something to do with its ability to like manipulate stuff. But we have Splendor, which I know the Seraph, and who else is Splendor? Oh, interesting. The wizard has Splendor. So that means the wizard can heal. Okay, and it's also a control over death. So that might be into the line of like a necromancer or something like that, or breathing life into stuff. So I'm curious because sorcerers have innate magic. I mean, I don't know enough about this sorcerer to say one way or the other that is how they do. I mean, they obviously do have like a primal origin or an elemental origin as their subclass. But I'm curious to see what that plays into. And the last thing we have, which plays into Guardian and Seraph, is Valor. Domain of protection, whether through attack or defense, those who choose this discipline channel formidable strength to protect their allies in battle. Valor offers great power to those who raise their shield in defense of others. Okay, so yeah, Guardian is definitely a paladin. Seraph, to me, being Splendor and Valor, is a cleric. This is a cleric of some kind. So yeah, Bard, Druid, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Cleric, sorcerer, fighter, fighter slash barbarian, and wizard. So, all right. So, which honestly, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, we need a monk, we need an artificer, you know, we need a warlock or anything like that, because don't really. One of the things, and this is kind of a touchy point for some people. I've actually sat on this thought over the years. Warlocks could in some ways be not be their own class, you know, just not at all. I think you could play you could play a sorcerer or a wizard with an otherworldly patron just as well, because I feel like a lot of people don't play into the warlock patron enough to actually make it be a living part of a character. You know, and I think that's where it oftentimes falls to the wayside, the warlock, which is one of the reasons why I'm not surprised not seeing it in here. But yeah, so we're making a bard. Like I said, I knew that from the very beginning. So, but we picked the bard. That was gonna be our first thing. So now we're gonna come up here, and now I realize, because where I thought this was the order of things, I realize I'm wrong. That is how many choices we have to make. So, yeah. So we'll do that. We'll choose bard, and now we're gonna go up to heritage, because I want to see what we have. And we do have some really sick character art cards here. So I say let's look at these. All right. Clanks are sentient mechanical beings built from such materials such as metal, wood, stone, and clay to resemble humanoids, animals, or even inanimate objects. Purposeful design. Decide who you were created by and for what purpose. When you generate your experiences at character creation, choose one that reflects that purpose and add a +1. Interesting. So does this give a lot more information? I don't know. It doesn't really give a lot more information. So yeah, well, I really like some of this art too. They are, like organic beings, their bodies come in a wide array of sizes and may change and adapt based on time and need. Because of their custom construction, many clanks have highly specialized physical features. Examples include clawed hands for grasping, wheels for movement, or built-in weaponry. Many clanks are known to embrace an individual's desire for body modifications, including those based in style or function, and members of other ancestries might turn to clank artisans to construct highly customized mobility aids and physical adornments. Okay, see, this is what I kind of wish... This is kind of what I wish D&D's Warforged were, okay? You know, obviously up there on the balcony, we have 3 of my favorite characters, 3 of my most cherished characters, and the DM. You know, we got the DM, Azazel, Kelf the Axe Wielder, and then very end, playing the lute, we got Cooper. Cooper is a Warforged bard, and when you play a Warforged in 5e, and you're going with official content, there is a stigma that goes into that race. Warforged in 5e were created for war. That's literally in the name. And they were magically given sentience just out of nowhere, okay? It was the Great Awakening. And they were used by House Cannith in the war in Eberron, and then when the war came to an end, when House Cannith was basically blown off the face of the world, it left these Warforged kind of homeless, you know, and people looked at them with disgust because they were literally built to fight. You know, some of them were big and bulky and meant to move munitions. Some of them were thin, light, and agile and were meant to move out onto the battlefield and either kill people or administer first aid. Some of them were designed to work in kitchens and provide food for soldiers. But everything about them was forged for war. And after the war, the Warforged needed a place. They needed a home. They needed purpose and belonging. So they went out into the world and they tried to find that. You know, the big burly ones ended up working, you know, on shipyards and working construction. Those that were cooks were hired by other chefs. But the problem was there was still a huge stigma about them. And I really like this idea of clanks not being designed for war, but being designed for anything, you know, like a thespian in this image right here, this, what would basically have been Cooper. Okay. You can see that there's, he has like one of those like rolling music players that he cranks on his stomach, and that's how he's playing his music through this speaker. Cooper, the way that he functioned was he was a coin operated Chuck E. Cheese robot essentially, and if you put a coin in his back, his loot would pop out of his chest and he would like get into that, you know, animatronic stance and start playing music. When he gained his sentience and he gained life, he realized he could make the loot come in and out as he wished. And eventually he became proficient with combat, and he actually had his rapier turned into a or his loot turned into a rapier. And so he could actually play that, and it was like built into him. But this is a very cool design of like a music playing clank. Obviously some one that's like literally a centaur built to guard somewhere, or a knight, a wizard clank who could have been built as like an experiment or as a wizard's assistant. Or this could literally be the body, the vessel that a dead wizard implanted themselves in when they died in order to continue on. I mean, this right here, an obvious chef with a giant, you know, giant boiler in his stomach. We got a miner. We got what looks like an Adeptus Mechanicus. I mean, all my Warhammer folk out there, tell me this doesn't look like an AdMech. That is hyper creepy. And yeah, there's, I mean, even more down here. You got like a living barrel, what looks to be a cleric of some kind, a mechanical dragon with a furnace. I mean, just straight up warriors. Essentially a mechanical frog with a giant flail for a tongue. Can have the appearance of any ancestry and be made from a variety of materials. Metal is most common, but wood, clay, porcelain, and stone. Interesting. Clanks have a self-repair system. Interesting. See, that's cool. I like that. This is so cool. I love this art too. All right, what do we got next? We got Demon. Those of Damon, I'm going to say Damon for now. Those of Damon ancestry are the humanoid descendants of the fallen gods who possess sharp canines, pointed ears, and horns that come in a variety of style. Tieflings. While some daemons' horns resemble that of a goat or a ram, others bear the shape of a piercing spike. There's no standard number of horns for daemons, though 2 or 4 are quite common, and some will have crowns of many horns or one. They will also grow asymmetrically, forming unique shapes that daemons are known to enhance with carvings and ornamentation. Their skin, hair, and horns come in an assortment of stark, vibrant colors of rosy scarlet, deep purple, and pitch black on average. 5 to 7. Okay. Yep. Long fingers, pointed tails. So they're tieflings. I mean, I look at these and I think tiefling. I mean, very ornate horns. Those are cool. This looks like, oh, what's that one black dragon from Magic? I have to look him up. It's like a named dragon. And I can't think of it, or maybe it's not a dragon per se. It's like a planeswalker. But it's, oh, here it is. Oh yeah, it is a dragon, Nicol Bolas. Okay, yeah. Tell me this crown does not look like the one for four horns right here. Like, it's got that same, I mean, it's on like the opposite side of the head, but it's got that same kind of like round shape. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So what are their abilities? When you roll with fear, you may choose to mark a stress instead of the GM gaining fear. Interesting. You have advantage on rolls to intimidate non-daemon creatures. Okay. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the tieflings in 5e having a buff to charisma. But it being in their stuff where it's like, you know, they have a high charisma because people kind of fear them. All right, so moving on to the Dracona. They resemble wingless dragons in humanoid form, possess a powerful elemental breath. All Dracona have thick scales that provide excellent natural armor against both forces of nature and attacks. They are large in size, ranging from 5 to 7 feet on average, with equally large, naturally sharp teeth. Dracona teeth are perpetually regrown, and members of their ancestry are never in danger of permanently losing an incisor. Unlike their dragon ancestors, Dracona do not possess wings and cannot fly without magical aid. Members of this ancestry each possess elemental breath, the type of which is passed down through generations. So it's the Dragonborn, which it's totally understandable. At character creation, choose the following elements. Choose one of the following elements: fire, ice, lightning, poison, acid. Yep, the chromatic 5. Tiamat is still alive and well. Spend a hope and make an instinct roll using your breath weapon against an enemy or group of enemies within close range. Deal a d8 magic damage to all enemies you succeed against. Okay, yeah, so Coner line. Cool. Honestly, I love this art. If you get a chance, let me do something here. If you get a chance, head over to daggerheart.com/play and sign up to get this document, to get this packet. Even just for the art, for future reference, like, these would make really cool NPC images that you could draw inspiration from for a character, even for your own character, just inspiration for yourself. And just, man, this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. different types of tails or no tail. All right. Moving on to dwarf. Oh boy, what can we say about dwarves? Most easily recognized as short humanoids with square features, dense in stature, and thick hair. Their average height ranges from 4 to 5.5 feet, quite often broad in proportion to their stature. Due to a higher amount of keratin in their skin and nails, they are very resilient. And dwarves are wow. Okay, hold on. We're going to get back to that. Dwarves are known to decorate their bodies with a number of tattoos, unique piercings, and embedded gemstones. Equally, their hair grows quickly, primarily on their head, but across other portions of their body. And dwarves of all gender are known for their facial hair, which may be styled in intricate patterns. When you should take physical damage, you may spend 3 hope to only take half of the damage instead. Okay, I want to point out, I love the fact that they make a point to say that the reason that dwarves are resilient is because of a high amount of keratin in their skin and nails. And that is hilarious that they're trying to basically say, like, oh yeah, no, this is the thing that makes them like naturally resilient. I don't know why that just really makes me laugh, but it does. Okay. So yeah, there we go. I mean, I didn't figure there'd be much more about dwarves that we needed to touch on. Everyone kind of knows about dwarves. All right, then we got elves. Elves are typically tall humanoids with pointed ears and acute, attuned senses. Their ears vary in size and pointed shape, and as elves age, the tip will begin to droop at the tip. While elves come in a wide range of body types, they are fairly thin, with the shortest amongst them being about 5'8", and the tallest coming closer to 6.5. Some elves possess what is known as a mystic form, which occurs when an individual has dedicated themselves to a portion of the natural world so deeply that their physical form has changed. These characteristics can include celestial freckles, the presence of leaves, vines, or flowers in their skin or hair, and more. Sometimes these traits are inherited from an elf's parent, but if the individual chooses to move their focus away from that sphere of influence, portions of their appearance may change over time. During a long rest, one of your actions, you may choose to drop into a celestial trance. When you do, roll a d8 equal to the stress you have marked and clear all stress. If any of these dice have a matching value, also clear all hit points. Interesting. So you're able to remove your stress. Gonna be lurking for you? Hey man, that's awesome. Yeah, feel free to just hang around. Okay, so you drop into a trance, roll a d8 equal to the stress you have marked, and then you clear all of your stress, and then you can also clear some hit points as long as they match. So just a way to kind of heal yourself a little easier. I gotta say, I kind of like how they did. I'm gonna move this over just a bit. There we go. I really kind of like how they did the elves here. For some reason, they don't look like the normal kind of stuck-up elves that I'm used to. And I think a lot of it actually has to play into those freckles. The fact that their faces are kind of pockmarked almost. That is also, you didn't really normally see elves with beards. So something like that's pretty cool. Gotta say, that elf, thick as fuck. This elf, like, portly as shit. She got fucking thighs for days. I ain't saying freckles aren't cute. The thing is that, you know, it's normally elves don't have like how can I say this? Elves would normally have a very clean complexion. Okay, they would not normally have like you know, freckles and stuff like that. At least the elves I'm used to. I mean, but yeah, it's definitely something else to see stuff like that. Because I would look at this, honestly, this one down here, on the left, and I would like, especially the shape of the nose, kind of being a little. The nose looks like a little bit more bulbous. The hair being very like frizzy, and it looks like there's leaves in it, and there's almost like a dirt or the freckles on the face. I would look at that and I would think more of a furbolg, like a half human, half furbolg, before I would think elf. Again, that's just me, but that's where my mind went. All right. Moving on to fairy. Those of fairy ancestry are winged humanoid creatures with insect-like features. Fairies have close ties with the natural world and frequently possess characteristics that allow them to blend in with various plants. Based on their individual heritage, fairies' features might more closely resemble either humanoids or bugs. They may possess additional arms, compound eyes, lantern organs, chitinous exoskeletons, or stingers. The average height of a fairy ranges from 2 to 5 feet, but some fairies grow up to 7 feet tall. All fairies possess membranous wings and go through a unique process of metamorphosis throughout their relatively short lifespan of usually no more than 40 years. Main features. Oh wait, what's the main? Well, we already read the main feature of the elf. It's the trance. Ancestry feature: wings mark stress to take flight until you roll your mark stress to take flight until you next roll with fear. While flying, your evasion score increases by 2. Luckbender: once per session, after you or an ally in close range makes an action roll, you can mark a stress to allow a reroll of the duality dice. If you do, take the new result. Ooh. Let's go fair. All I have right now is the name Aster Woventime. Interesting. I gotta say, I like these fairy designs that they provide on here, especially this like Hercules beetle with a trident. That is sick. That would be a really cool paladin kind of character. We also have this moth who kind of looks like he would be a fighter or a monk. I'm assuming this is a grasshopper or a cricket with the design of the legs. But the wings, if they aren't wings, kind of give me an idea of something else. We got more fairy, the more humanoid with pixie wings or butterfly wings. Again, this one's thick as fuck. This to me looks like a bee wizard, which is sick as hell. Because the staff looks like it's made of honey. That's cool. And then we have a rapier wielding praying mantis style bug. Yeah, no, I'm digging this. Given their perceived magical nature, some believe fairies' capability of prolonged flight, regardless of size and appearance, is assisted by innate magic. Cool. One wing, dual wing, what? Okay, I'm sorry. Ugh. Is it dual wing? Is it dual wing or? Because if you're going try, it should be like It should be like monowing, biwing, triwing. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into semantics. That's cool. Man, that fucking Hercules beetle. That's cool as shit. I want to play that. I want to play a Hercules beetle fairy and run around like a goddamn paladin. All right. On to fawn. I know a little bit about fawn. Those of fawn ancestry resemble goats in humanoid forms with curving horns, square pupils, and cloven hooves. Like any ancestry, their appearance widely varies, but most fawn have goat-like lower bodies with dense fur and cloven hooves, while their torso and hands are usually humanoid. Fawn faces range from humanoid to goat-like depending on their heritage, and they can have varying ear shapes, horn shapes, and fur thickness. Fawn horns range from short to mini curvature, or with mini curvature, to much larger and curling. The average height for fawn height ranges from 4 foot to 6.5, which can change dramatically based on the way they stand. The majority of fawns have proportionally long limbs no matter their individual shape or size, and they have an ability called Headbutt. Give the DM 1 fear to headbutt an enemy you move into melee with. The target immediately takes D8 direct physical damage and can't be targeted again by this attack during the fight. Cool. Just get like one clean hit on them. Yeah. No, this is sick. I know in 5e we had one like this. The name is escaping me, and I'm trying to look it up on my other screen here. Satyr. That's what it was. The Satyr. So yeah, a very similar kind of build. But I vaguely remember when whatchamacallit, Bob Worldbuilder, he was talking about this. He actually played a fawn in the game that he was playing, and he said it was more deer-like, and that he wanted to play more of like a billy goat kind of character. So I'm actually really surprised to see that this is more designed towards goat. All right. Moving on to Furbolg. Furbolg resemble cows in humanoid form, typically recognized by their broad nose and long ears. Members of this ancestry have more humanoid bodies, which may or less be covered in hair. Some physical features that are a blend of humanoid and cows, but others, often referred to as minotaurs, have heads that resemble specific cattle. No matter their other characteristics, Furbolg may possess horns, though many do not. Members of this ancestry come in a range of colors from earth tones to pastel hues like pink and blue. They're tall, muscular creatures with heights ranging from around 5 to 7 feet. Oh, I'm not a huge fan of this. Whenever you would mark a stress, roll a d6, and on a 6 you take no stress. I don't like this. So, oh my, I don't like this. Okay, so here's the thing. Furbolg in D&D are distant cousins of giants. As it says, the first Furbolgs wandered the primeval forests of the multiverse, and the magic of those forests intertwined themselves with the Furbolg soul. Centuries later, that magic still thrums inside a Furbolg, even those who never lived within the bowels of a great forest. A Furbolg's magic is an obscuring sort, which allows their ancestors to pass through a forest without disturbing it. So deep is the connection between a Furbolg and the wild place of the world that they can communicate with flora and fauna. Now, obviously, the the race in Daggerheart is going to have its own lore, and we'll get into that. But there's a part of me that's like, damn, this should be, did not have that moved over this whole time. There's a part of me that's like, they're basically just saying like, oh, hey, because everyone thinks furbolgs look like cows, we should make them just the Minotaur. Ugh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Yep, that's a rough one for me. Don't like that. All right. Moving on to fungrel. Fungrels resemble a mushroom in humanoid form, bearing the features of the fungus from which they descend. Because of this, their appearance can vary wildly. They may be anywhere from 2 to 7 feet tall, either more humanoid or more fungus in appearance. They come in an assortment of colors, from earth tones to bright reds, yellows, purples, and blues. Their physical forms are non-standardized, resulting in an incredible variety of bodies, faces, and limbs. Though all fungrels can speak verbally, the vast difference in the appearance of fungrels means those of this ancestry do not have a standard of visual, non-verbal means of communication, and they may choose to utilize a mycelial array for communication. Their feature: to speak with other fungrel across distance to access their hive mind of information, make an instinct check. A character creation, describe what the ritual you must perform to tap into this. Okay, I just want to say, I love fungus creatures. I love myconid is what they are in D&D. This character right here, this goddamn like ninja with the, you know, the whole Raiden hat thing, that sold me. That sold me on this. Like, that is so fucking cool. I want to play that ninja right now. Oh my god. That is so cool. Also, man, we got some hell of a variety in these. It looks sick as shit. But god damn, I fucking love that ninja up there. That's cool. So basically, the race lets you speak to all fungrel across a various distance. Interesting. All right, moving on to... Oh, we gotta close the other one. Moving on to the Galapagos, which, if you did not realize very quickly, put that in the feedback. You might not. Did you say where you got that document? Yes, I got this document at daggerheart.com/play. You have to provide your email, and they will send you materials. Now, if you did not already catch, Galapagos is a play on Galapagos Islands, which is where the Galapagos turtles are from. So this is a turtle. Those of Galapagos ancestry resemble anthropomorphic turtles with a large dome shell into which the head and limbs can retreat for defense. On average, they range from 4 to 6 feet in height. An individual's overall shape is dictated by the type of turtle of their heritage. They come in a variety of earth tones, mostly shades of green and brown, but may possess colorful, unique patterns, especially on their shells. No matter their other physicality, all Galapagos can draw in their heads, arms, and legs to protect themselves, using it as a shield. The shell on your back always protects you. Add your proficiency to your armor score. Yeah, basically kind of the same thing as the turtle in D&D. As an action, you can retreat into your shell. I really like the leatherback one there. That's cool. I like turtles. I think they're cool. I think it's a fun class or fun race that doesn't get a lot of play. But I dig it. All right. So it looks like we're a little more than halfway through. Up next, we got giant, very tall humanoids with long arms, broad stature, and 1 to 3 eyes. The smallest adults amongst their ancestry are 6.5 foot, with the largest coming in around 8.5. In combination with their size, giants are most easily recognized by their long arms that grant them added reach. They tend towards dense musculature, no matter what gender or body type. While the majority of them amongst this ancestry have 2 eyes, it's not uncommon for them to have 1 or 3. Trait is passed from one or both parents. Those with a single eye are often referred to as cyclops. I was about to say, so straight up cyclopses. Ooh. Gain an additional hit point slot at character creation. Any melee weapon you wield has its range increased to very close. Cool. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. I was not expecting to see giants on this list, but I mean, I guess it's probably as close as you can get to like Goliath, but keeping more into the giant aspect. Cool. All right, Goblin. Those of Goblin ancestry are small humanoids, typically recognized by their large eyes and massive membranous ears. Because of these physical features, they tend to have keen hearing and eyesight that allows them to perceive detail at a greater distance, in darkness, or in less optimal environments. Their skin and eye colors are incredibly varied, with no one hue, either vibrant or subdued, more dominant than another. Their height ranges from 3 to 4 feet, and each of their ears is about the size of one individual's heads. Goblins are known to use ear positions with very specific effect within non-verbal communication. That's so interesting. I like that. It's like your ears may belie your lingering emotions. Once per short rest, you can mark a stress to make the GM re-roll an attack. If it still hits you, reduce it by your proficiency. Okay. Yeah, so it honestly looks like they're going for a little more approachable goblin compared to like other versions where like D&D is very like I don't want to say like belied, but the goblins in D&D are fairly vicious looking, whereas in Pathfinder, the goblins are kind of a little bit more like menacing, almost. Like you would like this coming around the corner is gonna be like, oh, oh, that's dangerous. I definitely need to stay away from that creature. This coming around the corner, it's like, I need to hide or run the fuck away because he's gonna, not only, like, this guy's gonna beat the shit out of me and leave me for dead. This guy's gonna rip off my arm, beat my ass, and then steal my wallet. You know, like, that's what a Pathfinder goblin does. Whereas Daggerheart Goblin, I look at this middle one here that has the ear piercings, and it's like, oh, cool. Like, I could go and have, like, you know, I could have an ale with you. Or, you know, this one in the middle that's kind of like, you know, thick and chunky. Like, hey, yeah, let's go adventure. These are very approachable goblins. I want to point that out. Like, these are not like, oh, I'm gonna run away and hide. Like, these are very approachable goblins. I'm just saying. All right, halflings are typically smaller humanoids with large hairy feet and prominent round ears. On average, halflings are 3 to 4 feet tall, with ears, noses, and feet that are larger in proportion to the rest of their features. Halflings are naturally attuned to the magnetic fields of the mortal realm, granting them a strong internal compass. They also possess strong senses of hearing and smell and may be more able to detect those who are familiar to them by sound of their movements. At the beginning of each session, give everyone in your party a hope. You may always re-roll a 1 on your hope die. If you do, take the new roll. So it's basically the same thing as the lucky one. You know, it's if you roll a 1, you re-roll. Yeah, it's kind of what we figured. It's look at that. It's the hobbits. You know, this child one is literally Frodo. This old one is literally Bilbo. You know, they got variety of hair. They're just little mini humanoids. Sick. At the beginning of the session, yeah. All right, humans. Those of you in ancestry are the most recognized by their dexterous hands, round ears, bodies built for endurance, average height, blah, 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 wide variety of build. So, perseverance. When you fail a roll that utilized one of your experiences, you may spend a hope to re-roll. Take the new one. Okay. All right, on to Qatari. I'll give you one guess as to what Qatari references. Yes, so Qatari ancestry are feline humanoids with soft fur and high triangular ears. They also have vertically slit pupils, small pointed canine teeth, and long whiskers that perception... They also have vertically slit pupils, small pointed canine teeth, and long whispers that perception and navigation. I think they are supposed to have the word aid in there. That aid in perception and navigation. I don't know. I feel like they are missing something in there. Their ears can nearly swivel 180 degrees to detect sounds, adding to their heightened senses. Depending on their lineage, Qatari may be more closely resemble their cat ancestors or humans with an amount of hair and facial structure to match. Equally, they may or may not have tails, and their skin and fur possess a wide range of hues, with solid colors, calico tones, tabby patterns, and an array of spots and stripes. On agility rolls, you may mark a stress to re-roll your hope die. If you do, take the new result. Cool. So there you go, furries. You get, you get a whole spectrum from cat-like to human-like, and you can be anywhere you want. All right, moving on. We got 3 left. We got Orc. Orc is the most recognized as humanoids with square features and boar-like tusk. These tusks protrude from their lower jaw, and the size can vary between individuals. While they extend from their mouths, tusks are not used for consuming food, and thus many orcs choose to decorate them with significant ornamentation. Orcs have mid-sized pointed ears, and their skin is typically colored green, pink, blue, and gray. Orcs tend towards a muscular stature, no matter their individual size or build, and have average height ranges from 5 to 6.5 feet. When you should mark an armor slot, roll a d6. On a 5+, you don't mark the armor slot, but still reduce the incoming damage by your armor score. So when you go to take damage, and it were to damage your armor, and you roll you roll high on a d6, it's more just your own sturdiness and endurance that is reducing the damage. So that's cool. Sick. I like the art. This concept art is just absolutely great. I like the orc wizard. That's cool. Rare that you see an orc wizard. All right, we got 2 more. We got Ribbit. Which obviously we've made grung here in the past, so we're familiar with anthropomorphic frogs. Those of Ribbit ancestry resemble anthropomorphic frogs with protruding eyes and webbed hands and feet. They have smooth, though sometimes warty and moist skin, eyes positioned on either side of the top of their head, and while some Ribbits have hind legs more than twice the length of their torso, others have fairly small limbs. No matter their size, which ranges from 3 to 4.5 feet, ribbits primarily move by hopping. All ribbits have hands and feet that are webbed, allowing them to swim with ease. Some ribbits possess a naturally green and brown camouflage, while others are quite vibrantly colored in an array of bold patterns. No matter their appearance, all ribbits are born from eggs laid in the water, hatch into tadpoles, and after about 6 to 7 years, mature into amphibians that can move onto land. Features: you can breathe and move underwater just as easily on land, and you can use your long, powerful tongue to grab onto things close to you. You may also mark stress to unleash it as a finesse close weapon that does a D12 physical damage. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. The ribbit has the ability to breathe and move underwater just as they can on land. They have an extra limb to hold on to things, and they can use it as a finesse close-ranged weapon that deals a D12 damage? Fucking hell. I mean, if finesse close range is anything to like similar to D&D, that would proc a rogue sneak attack. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not a sneak attack, but like, fuck me, a D12. Also, I love the art for them too. They're so cool. All right, we are on to the last one, which is the Simia. Simia resemble anthropomorphic monkeys and apes with long limbs and prehensile feet. This grants them the appearance that ranges from the largest gorillas to the smallest marmoset and everything in between. Their size does not align directly with their animal counterparts, as they tend to range from 2 to 6 feet. Though the degree varies, all members of this ancestry have prehensile feet and utilize this dexterity in non-verbal communication, movement, work, and combat. This trait grants them a unique agility that can aid in a variety of physical tasks. Nimble. Take advantage on agility rolls that involve balancing and climbing, and add a +1 to your evasion. All right. So there we go. Also, it looks like here, you can have mixed races. When you choose heritage at level 1, write down your character would identify themselves. For example, they could be goblin orc or just goblin with orc in their lineage. You select the ancestry card for your character and choose from any of the ancestry features from your lineage to become part of your loadout. Though your family has shaped you in many ways, this skill, choose from any. Interesting. Oh, here's the problem though. Choose from any of the ancestry features to become part of it. So I could say, for example, that I am a half ribbit giant and I'm some, giant frog creature. So any melee weapon I wield has my range increased to very close. So that tongue just became a very close weapon. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how balance works with this. But I already know what I was going with. I was going to go with halfling from the very beginning. So we're going to scooch this down just a hair. There we go. All right, and we're going to select halfling. All right, so now we need to choose a community. So the communities describes the culture or environment the character grew up in. It is likely they are a member of numerous communities. This represents the one that they feel more influenced. So this is actually very similar to how 1D&D, how 5e, the 1D&D stuff was actually leaning towards humans being, where humans would have a sub-race based on where they were born. There was like the cosmopolitan and the nomadic one. So I'm curious to see what this did, because I haven't really seen a lot of this. All right. Here we go. Highborn. Being part of a highborn community means you are born into a life of elegance, opulence, and prestige within the upper echelons of society. Traditionally, members of a highborn community possess incredible material wealth. While this takes a variety of forms depending on the community, gold and other materials, land, controlling the means of production, etc., it always comes with incredible power and influence. Highborn highly value titles and possessions, and there is very little social mobility within their ranks. It's not uncommon for members of a highborn community to control the political and economic status of the areas in which they live based on their ability to influence the individuals and economy with their substantial wealth. The health and safety of the less affluent people who live in these locations often hinges on the ability of this highborn ruling class to prioritize the well-being of their subjects over profit. So, community feature. You have advantage on any roles you make when consorting with nobles, negotiating prices, or leveraging your reputation to get what you want. Take an extra handful of gold at character creation. So this to me seems more like the background. But I'm curious to see what more we have. All right. And I'm also trying to think of like what Lakis would be. Loreborn. Being part of a Loreborn community means you're brought up in a place that favored strong academic or political prowess. Loreborn communities highly value knowledge, frequently in the form of the preservation of history, advancements of politics, study of science, honing of skill, or collecting of mythology. Because of this, many lore-born communities are not closely tied to the landscape. Very often, this collective will highly value structures designed to protect physical books and records, and they will only engage with nature and the physical world in particularly intellectual way. While some lore-born societies are isolationists, others use their knowledge to make deft political maneuvers in a larger governmental landscape. Some lore-born communities, such as those surrounding a college or attached to a guild, are smaller enclaves with wider societies that may operate with a separate, unique ethos. So, lore-born individuals are often direct, eloquent, inquisitive, patient, rhapsodic. I know it's like rhapsody. And witty. Highborn are amiable, candid, conniving, enterprising, ostentatious, and unflappable. You have advantage on any roles you make that deal with history, culture, or politics. Okay. Orderborn. Being part of an order-born community means you are raised in a place of great discipline or faith and uphold a set of principles that reflect your experience there. Order-born are frequently some of the most powerful amongst the surrounding communities by aligning the members of their society around a common goal or value, such as a god. Sorry, I keep having to adjust the zoom. Doctrine, ethos, or even shared business or trade, the ruling bodies of these enclaves are able to mobilize large populations with less effort. Okay, so it's religion. It's a religion. Orderborns are often ambitious, benevolent, pensive, prudent, sardonic, and stoic. Dedicated. Record 3 sayings or values your upbringing instilled in you. Once per short rest, when you describe how you're embodying one of these principles through your current action, you may roll with a d20 as your hope die instead of a d12. That is a considerable boon. For those that don't know, when you roll in Daggerheart, instead of rolling a d20, you roll 2d12, and one is your hope die and one is your fear die. And this is allowing you to roll your hope die as a d20, and if your hope die is better, you actually get a slight boon. You get a buff. All right. Ridgeborn. This has got to be like Outlander Mountain. Being part of a Ridgeborn community means you call the rocky peaks and sharp cliffs of the mountainside home. Those who grew up in the mountains often consider themselves hardier than most, likely because they've lived amongst the most dangerous terrain many continents have to offer. Those who are Ridgeborn grow up scrambling and climbing, making them particularly sure-footed and sure-will. So they are known as bold, hardy, indomitable, loyal, reserved, and stubborn, but have advantage on traversing dangerous cliffs and ledges, navigating harsh environments, and survival knowledge, plus a +1 to their armor class. Seaborn. Being part of a seaborn community means you grew up on or near a large body of water. Seaborn communities are built both physically and culturally around the specific waters they call home. Some of these groups live along the shore, constructing ports for locals and travelers alike. These harbors may function both as centers of commerce, tourist attractions, or even a safe place to lay down one's head after weeks of travel. Other seaborn live on the water in small boats or large ships, with the idea of home meaning a ship and its crew rather than any one landmass. No matter their exact location, seaborn communities are closely tied to the ocean tides and characters that inhabit them. They learn to fish at a young age and will train from birth to hold their water and swim even in the most tumultuous waters. Okay. They are often known as candid, cooperative, exuberant, fierce, resolute, and weathered. And once per session, when you make a short or long rest, you may take one additional downtime action. Interesting. So, I'm already seeing that as just like a general boon all around. All right. What's up, Ms. Roy? We're talking about Daggerheart. Slyborn. Being part of a Slyborn community means growing up in the underbelly of society, surrounded by criminals and con artists. Members of Slyborn communities are brought together by their position in society. They operate outside the law. Commonly, these communities are comprised of those with an array of skills: foraging, thievery, smuggling, and violence. Among the Slyborn, there are a variety of social classes, including those who have garnered vast wealth and influence, and others without a coin to their name. To the outside, the Slyborn seem more like ruffians with no loyalty, but those communities possess some of the strictest codes. Yeah, honor amongst thieves, baby. They are known as clever, formidable, menacing, unflinching, shrewd, and tenacious, and have advantage on any roll when you're negotiating with criminals, detecting lies, or finding a safe place to hide. Moving on to the Underborn. Being part of an Underborn community means you're from a subterranean society. Many Underborn live right beneath the cities and villages of other groups, and others live much deeper, and these communities range from small family groups in burrows to massive metropolises in caverns of stone. Amongst many groups, the Underborn are recognized for their incredible boldness and skill. Acknowledging this community is highly capable of feats of architecture and engineering. Members of these communities are regularly hired for their bravery, as even the least daring Underborn citizens are likely to encounter a number of underground beasts in their daily lives, and learning to dispatch these creatures is common practice. So this is going to be your dark elves, this is going to be your dwarves, your gnomes, your Snurf Meblin, anything that lives underground. When you're in an area of low light or heavy shadow, these individuals are known as composed, elusive, indomitable, innovative, unpretentious, and resourceful. When you're in an area with low light or heavy shadow, you have advantage on rolls to hide, investigate, and perceive detail. Ooh. Oh, I gotta crack my neck later. All right. We got two more. We got Wanderborn. I'm guessing this is Nomad? Yeah. Being part of a Wanderborn community means you were raised as a nomad, not having a permanent home, but experiencing a wide variety of cultures. Unlike many communities that are defined by their locale, Wanderborn are defined by their, I gotta Google this.
Peripatetic.
Peripatetic. Okay. Wanderborn are defined by their peripatetic lifestyle. Because of their frequent migration, Wanderborn are likely to put less value on the accumulation of material possessions in favor of acquiring information, skills, and connections. While some Wanderborn are allied by a common ethos, such as a religion or set of political economic values, others come together after shared tragedy, such as the loss of their homes or lands. No matter the reason, the dangers posed by life on the road mean the Wanderborn are known for their unwavering loyalty. They are described as magnanimous, mirthful, inscrutable, reliable, savvy, and unorthodox. Add a nomad pack to your inventory. Once per session, you may spend a hope to reach into this pack and pull out a common item that is useful in the situation. Work with the GM to figure out what this item is. That is interesting. That's really cool. There is a part of me that is looking at that for Lakis. We got one more. Wildborn. Being part of a Wildborn community means you're raised by a clan deep within the forest. While some construct their lodging high in the branches of trees themselves, still others establish their homes in the ground beneath the canopies. Wildborn are defined by their dedication to the conservation of their homelands, and many such communities have strong religious and cultural ties to the plants that thrive amongst them. It is a hallmark of Wildborn groups to disturb the natural environment as little as possible when constructing their villages or cities. It is not uncommon for them to remain fairly reclusive and hidden within their woodland homes. They are often referred to as hardy, loyal, nurturing, reclusive, sagacious, and vibrant. And their ability is Lightfoot. Your movement is naturally silent. Take advantage on any action rolls you make to move without being heard. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna swap these real quick. Make my life a little easier for any time I want to do this. So here we go. This is gonna become that. And this is going to become that. So now I can just go boop. We can... see a little better. All right, so... there is a part of me that likes Wanderborn. Wanderborn sounds very cool. But I'm trying to think of Lakis. Now, Lakis was not brought up in a place of elegance or opulence. For those that don't know who Lakis Pawalski is, he's the character that I actually played in my Baldur's Gate campaign. And the thing is that he was also a character I played in one of the campaigns back in the day. And the thing was that he ran a general store with his wife, and eventually throughout his time running the general store, he always wanted to open up a sandwich shop. And a lot of his family kind of, put him down for this because the general store did well, but he would often put their profits into trying to make this sandwich place a thing, and it didn't always work out. Well, eventually his wife left him for, you know, his friend who became their business partner when they started running low on money. And so he took the money he got from the business and he left and he opened up his sandwich shop in a new town, and things were doing well. And then the war hit, and one day his shop was destroyed. His sandwich shop was destroyed, and he was planning on committing unalive. Okay, he was going to do himself in, but before he could commit to that, he was approached by a group of adventurers that recognized his predicament, knew of his cooking abilities, because when he actually finally like had no other attachments and was able to kind of do things of his own accord, his sandwich shop flourished. And the thing was that when it was destroyed, he had no more investment that he could put into it. But he was kind of known for his sandwiches at that point. So he was approached by a group of adventurers that was looking for aid in, as they posted to him, saving the world. And that they needed somebody with his good hospitality, and his way with people. So he joined them. And that was more or less it. Now, the thing is he did not come from like a high society of nobility or anything like that. So he's not highborn. He definitely did not come from a place that was like highly valuing knowledge. Nor was he from like, you know, a religious order or anything like that. He wasn't from the mountains, wasn't from the sea, and also wasn't from like, you know, the slums, nor the Underdark or the wilds, but he also wasn't kind of a nomad. He wasn't kind of any one of these. I guess if I had to put him anywhere, it might be closer to Loreborn when it comes to, you know, his directness, his eloquence, and his wit, but he's also amiable and enterprising and unflappable. You know, it's... You know, that's, yeah, they don't really have one that's just like, that's like the folk hero, you know? I guess, because he grew up in a city, but he wasn't in like the criminals, and he wasn't part of like high society. So yeah, like they need one of these that's like, you know, like the like a commoner. But I guess if I had to say anything, he would be more Wonderborn than anything. Like, I don't necessarily mean, like, he wasn't a nomad. He didn't travel from place to place, but I don't know. This is a hard one. I'm not sure how I feel about this community thing, because they need to have one that's just like Commonborn. That's what they need to have. They need Commonborn. You are, you know, you're built amongst the, or you were born amongst the Commonborn. Hold on, I'm gonna see something here. All right. I'm putting something to work over here. For right now, we're going to go Wanderborn. So, all right. So, we have picked our class. We have not picked our subclass yet. So, we got to do that. But we picked our heritage and we picked our community. So, there we go. Now we're going to go back to class. Choose a subclass. We have Troubadour. Where's the bard? Oh, the bard was... I did move the bard to another button. Okay. All right, so I think this really like gives us much more beyond what we're doing. So you know what? I'm just gonna do this for right now. Actually, no, I will go back to that. Go back to that main page. There we go. All right, so see if we can get back into Bard. Perfect. All right, so those who become bards are truly the most charismatic. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the classes. I don't have time for that. But we're going to look at the bard. Maybe I'll do another stream another day where we go through all of them. Maybe I'll make a character for each one eventually. But those who become bards are truly the most charismatic members of all the realms. Members of this class are masters of captivation and may specialize in any of a variety of performance arts, including singing, playing musical instruments, weaving tales, and telling jokes. Whether performing to an audience or speaking to an individual, bards will excel. There are many schools and guilds where members of this profession come together to bond and train, but there is a fair amount of ego within those of this bardic persuasion. While there may be the most likely to bring people together, a bard of ill temper can just as easily tear a party apart. So obviously we are Grace and Codex. Our starting innovation is 9, and we have the damage thresholds, and our class item is a romance novel or a letter never opened. That's interesting. So we have the core ability of Rally. At the beginning of a session, okay, so we have a lot of the same information here, yeah. So, at the beginning of a session, place a d6 on your character sheet with the lowest number 1 facing up. When anyone in your party rolls with fear, turn the rally die to increase its value by 1. When you would increase the value above 6, remove the die, describe how you rally the party, and give every character who listens a d6 rally die. They can spend this to roll it, and add the result to any action roll, reaction roll, or damage roll. If your rally die hasn't finished its countdown by the end of the session, distribute the current value shown on the die as hope amongst your party, splitting it any way you see fit. When you reach level 5, this increases to a D8. So very cool with that. So yeah, we're obviously choosing the bard. Come on. Now, on to the subclass. Troubadour. Which is... Play the Troubadour if you want to play music to bolster your allies. Your spellcast is Presence. When you select this foundation, describe the instrument you use to produce music. You may perform each song once per long rest. When you perform a relaxing song during a moment of calm, you and close allies apply 1 heal. Okay. When you perform an epic song during battle, make a target temporarily vulnerable. And when you perform Heartbreaking, you and any close allies can take a hope. Cool. I am not going to go Troubadour. Lakis was never a musician. He was a wordsmith. That is still Presence. And Heart of a Poet. Once per short rest when speaking to a person you're trying to impress, persuade, or offend, if you use at least 3 rhyming words, you may add 1d6 to the action roll against them. Also, once per long rest, you can give a heartfelt, inspiring speech. You and allies can clear stress. That's cool as shit. I like that. I like that this is actually playing into the role play of it. That's cool. All right, so we're going to go wordsmith. The specialization feature of this is your moving words can boost the morale of the group. When you use your skills as linguist to raise a member of your group up, once per session, you can allow them to find a mundane item or tool they need, help an ally by spending a hope as usual, but instead roll a d8 instead of a d6, or give them an additional downtime activity during rest. Cool. So you're just bolstering people. You are just really rallying them. I like that. All right. When it comes to traits, obviously we are going to want our presence bumped up. Oh yeah, I'm saying. See, yeah. So we want presence bumped up. You know what? We're gonna do knowledge. But instead of, okay, hold on. We got to see what these mean. We got to look and see what these are. Here we go. Perfect. So strength, obviously lift, smash, grapple. Okay, so that's physicality. Finesse, control, hide, tinker. High finesse means that you're dexterous and accurate. You'll roll with finesse that requires fine motor. Okay, so that's basically dexterity. Instinct is wisdom. Okay, so yeah, perceive, sense, and navigate. Presence is charisma. Knowledge is... Okay, cool. It's basically... Oh, wait, what? I skipped over one. Huh. So they split. Okay, I see what they did. They split. They took away Constitution, and they split up Dexterity into 2 different things. It is now Agility, meaning you're faster on your foot, nimble on difficult terrain, and quicker to react to danger. But Finesse is more about your hands. It is your fine motor skills, being precise, careful, and quiet. Interesting. Okay, so yes, I would want finesse to be bumped up because this is 100% what I want. I want to use those suggested traits because that's exactly how I would have put it. Because Lakis obviously has a bump to his charisma. He's also smart, but he has much higher like fine motor skills. His hand-eye coordination is fairly high. He has a weak strength. He has fairly low agility. I would just want this to be a +1 just because his wisdom was a little higher. But neither here nor there. All right, so let's see. So how do we pick what equipment we're taking? Choose your... Okay, so, yep. Distribute modifiers. Oh, you know what? Give me 1 second, folks. Sorry about that. I didn't even put up my Be Right Back. I went to crack my neck, and it was like at some point, and I felt a tightness, and it started to hurt. So I was just dealing with it, but it got to the point where I was like, I need to address this. And I have this thing that goes under my neck, or goes like around my neck, and it has these two Velcro straps that connect the back piece to the front. So it kind of creates like a noose almost. And there's two sides that go up, and there's another piece at the top that connects to it that almost looks like a metal hanger. And the way that you do it is like here's a picture. Here's kind of a picture of what it looks like. So, you know, one side goes around your head, and then this side, and you're supposed to like lay down and pull it, kind of like, you know, they have it here. So this is what my wife does for me, where I'll lay down on the ground and she'll put her feet on my shoulder, and she'll just pull straight back. And I'll tell you what, it works. It absolutely works. My neck's not nearly as stiff as it was. So, all right, choose starting weapons. Well, actually, I want to see this. Yeah, here we go. Your evasion score reflects how hard it is for enemies to hit you. Your class's starting evasion score appears right beneath the evasion field in your character sheet. You know, I'm going to close out these maps, and we're going to keep no. These are the subclasses, so we really don't need these. Okay, we don't need that. These are the races. I want to see these. And this is for multi-classing, which we're obviously not even going to touch. Cool. And where's the other one that had all the classes that I was looking at? Bard. Perfect. All right, so we got Lakis Powalski. Pronouns. Him. Heritage is Wander-born halfling. And subclass is wordsmith. Can I change? Okay, let's see if I can change this. I think I can. Go 12. Yeah. Does it stay the same way? Good. Cool. All right, and we are level 1. All right, so evasion starts at 9. And this starts at 3, 8, and 13. Okay. All right. So your class's starting evasion appears right beneath the evasion field on your character sheet. Record this. When an enemy makes an attack against your character, the GM rolls against your... Okay, so it's your AC. Each character's evasion may look different within the narrative. A wizard may avoid blows with shimmering arcane shields or by batting away an adversary spells, while rangers may definitely nod. Okay, yeah, so it's just armor class. It's honestly a better way of explaining armor class, because to say that a wizard has a high armor class, it's kind of rough because they don't wear armor. So you kind of have to like say that it's more about like how you avoid attacks. Though this, I think it'll eventually play in where it's like, yeah, armor does play into it. So, okay. Your character's health and well-being are represented by hit points and stress. Hit points, sometimes called HP, is an abstract reflection of your physical fortitude and ability to take hits, both from blade and magic. Stress reflects your ability to withstand the pressures of dangerous situations. This includes mental and emotional strain, as well as the physical discomfort that comes with avoiding dire blows. You can describe your hit points and stress in any way you wish, but they generally represent your character's ability to get knocked down and keep coming back. You'll mark your hit points and stress when these situations arise. The fewer marks you have against your hit points and stress, the better. However, when you're attacked, you don't always have to mark these. Instead, your character has a certain damage threshold, which I think is what we just marked, indicating how much damage you can endure before marking a hit point. Find your class's damage threshold. Yeah, okay, so we definitely did just mark that. Okay. So hope is a currency that represents the way fate can turn in your character's favor during the game. You'll start with 2 hope at character creation. Mark these in the hope section. So right there. Okay. I think there's a way to do this. Okay, so anytime you roll with hope on your duality dice, meaning your hope die is higher than your fear die, you gain additional hope. During the game, you can use hope to help allies, apply your life experience as a challenge. Okay, cool. Instead, if you roll with fear, the GM records this in their notes, and they can later spend fear on certain effects. Sometimes fear rolls also introduces other complications. Okay. Choose your starting equipment. You can choose physical weapons to attack your foes, and if you have a spellcasting trait, such as from your subclass, you can also wield magic weapons. At character creation, you can choose 1 primary and 1 secondary, then equip them if you wish. Note that if you choose a primary weapon that requires both hands, you won't be able to... Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. You can choose from all starting tier 0 weapons. At level 1, your proficiency is 1, meaning you'll generally roll 1 damage die for your weapon attacks. Okay. Arcane gauntlets. That sounds pretty badass. Glowing rings. So wait, what were... Yeah, here we go. So we got dagger, which is finesse. So I'm probably gonna want a dagger. Glowing rings sounds really cool. Halberd axe, hand runes. That's based on instinct. Or you can succeed. Yeah, so that's the thing. This is very much like Pathfinder, where there's multiple levels of success. You know, where you can, where you can either completely fail, completely succeed, or you can partially fail or, partially succeed. A light weapon. Okay, so I get a +1 to agility. Returning blade, finesse far. That sounds cool. Saber. Scepter. Wand. Knowledge far. I kind of want to argue that the stuff for a whip crack, I kind of want to argue that a whip should be finesse. I'm just saying, a whip should be finesse. If finesse is about hand-eye coordination, that should be finesse, not your feet. That's my opinion. I guess I'll take what they recommend. I'll take a rapier. And +2 to primary weapon damage in melee. So again, based in finesse. Sure, I'll just take both of those. Seems about right. Starting armor. Breastplate. So what is... So we got leather armor, which is light. Base score 3. You get a +1 to evasion. This is base score 5. 7, but -1 to evasion. 9. So how is armor... You can choose armor to reduce incoming... At character creation, choose a piece of armor if you wish. Blah, 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 blah. When you equip armor... I'm just gonna take that. Record its details in your armor score. Your armor score includes permanent bonus. When you take damage, you can fill a box next to your armor score. I'm not seeing anything there. Oh, it's up there. I see. Right up there. So there's 3 boxes next to armor. Okay. When you take damage, you can fill out a box, then reduce the damage by your armor score. So I would be reducing it by 5. You can even... Okay. So... Okay. When you take damage, you can negate some or all by marking armor slots. Each time you take damage, you can mark as many as you'd like. Once they are all filled, your armor is broken, can't be used until you repair it. I like this. I honestly wish there was a thing like this in D&D when it came to, like, shields. I wish that there was something like this in 5e that was like, if you're using a shield, you know, you get a +2 to your AC, but you can choose to use a reaction to impose your shield, and it like takes so much X amount of damage. And if it takes too much damage, you know, it eventually breaks or something like that. Where the fuck are we at in this? Where were we? Oh, here we go. Starting equipment. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we're just going to go breastplate. We're going to go with the suggested. Starting inventory. Choose between a minor health potion, 1d4 hit points. Ooh. You know what's funny? Lakis would probably have a stress relief potion. Yeah. And you know what? I think the letter never opened is probably what he's carrying, because I don't see him as a romance novel. Decide what you carry your spells in. It is a it's a recipe book. Because he was a chef. He was a sandwich maker. So he carries it in a recipe book. All right, take domain spells. All right, so we have 6 to choose from, and I believe that's what these are. So, yes, that is what these are. So right here we got all the the grace and codex. So the book of Iliot, slumber. Okay, so wait, let's read this first. Domains are the core building blocks of a class in Daggerheart. In the core rulebook, they consist of Arcana, Blade, Bone, blah, 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 blah. Each domain has a domain deck, a deck of cards that contains a set of abilities and spells with a central theme or focus. For details on what each domain represents and how to use your domain cards, see the upcoming domain section. Each class in Daggerheart is formed by combining 2 of these, for example, warrior, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so to create your character, look at all the level 1 cards from your class's 2 domains and choose 2 to begin with, returning the rest to their respective decks. Okay, cool. So the Book of Iliot, slumber, make a spellcast roll against a very close target. On a success, they fall into a temporary sleep until they take damage, or the GM spends a fear to awaken them. Arcane Barrage, spend any number of hope to shoot magical projectiles to automatically hit. Roll an amount of d6. Okay, cool. So that's magic missile. And telepathy, you open a line of mental communication with one target you can see. This lasts until you use this spell to connect with another creature. Okay, so just, wow, you just have that until you don't. Cool. The Book of Typhar, Wild Flame, make a spell cast to 3 enemies. Okay, so that is what's the it's not Agonizer Scorcher, it's It's Scorching Ray. Couldn't think of it. Yeah, so obviously Slumber doesn't have an exact connection to 5e. Sleep is definitely one of them, but it's not like you pick a creature and they fall asleep. It's just that you knock a bunch of creatures asleep depending on how much you roll on, you know, the amount of d8s that you have. Arcane Barrage is 100% magic missile. Wild Flame is Scorching Ray because you are literally shooting 3 things and each one does 2d6. Magic Hand is just Mage Hand. And Strength as your own. Interesting. So it can lift more than 10 pounds. That's cool. Mysterious Mist. Spend a hope to cast a temporary thick fog that encircles a stationary area. Okay, so that is obviously Fog Cloud. Granted, not one usually given to bards. And Book of Ava. Make a spell cast against a target in melee range. On a success, they are blasted back to far range and take a d10 magic damage. I'm gonna say that is similar to Thunderclap or Thunderwave, because yeah, on a failed save they take 2d8 and is pushed 10 feet. So Tava's Armor. You may spend a hope to give a target you touch 1d6 to their armor score the next time they spend an armor slot. You cannot stack this multiple times. So that is very similar to like Armor of Faith. Not Armor of Faith. What am I thinking of? Shield of Faith. I'm thinking of Shield of Faith. Yeah, it's very similar to Shield of Faith, where you're giving them like a little bit of a buff. And Ice Spikes. You make a spellcast roll to summon large ice spikes within a very far range. You may also treat them as ranged weapons against a target. Okay, so 1d6, that's similar to Ray of Frost. So kind of, but not. If anything, actually, it's more like Ice Knife. It's more like Ice Knife, if anything. Sorry, I was doing things. Are spells arranged in class? Spells are arranged in small groupings dependent on the domain. So, for example, a wizard who is what, Codex and something else, Codex and Splendor, they would get access to any one of these grimoires in the Codex domain, but they would also get access to these spells here in the Splendor domain. But Lakis is getting one of these grimoires and is also getting one of these spells down here in the Grace domain. Or I could actually go 2 in Codex or 2 in Grace. I actually am not limited to my choice. All right, so in Rapture, make a spellcast roll against a close target. On a success, you can temporarily keep their attention on you, narrowing their field of view and drowning out any other sound. You may also mark a stress on a success to deal 2 stress to the target. Damn. Okay, you can imbue your speech with enhancing power. You can mark a stress when you recite your words and choose an option from the list below. Clear a stress, heal a hit point, gain a hope. Deft Deceiver. Spend a hope to take advantage on a roll you make to deceive or trick somebody. Ooh, I don't like that, but I do really like some of this. And actually, mine are not too far apart. So I'm gonna go with the Book of Typhar and Inspirational Words, because as a sandwich maker and as somebody who is a bard who's trying to cheer people up to be, you know, as cheerful as he can't be, because of the life that he chose to live, or because of the pain that he feels, he wants to inspire people. So that is 100% going to be a part of that. But the Book of Typhar has the wild flame. So when he's out there cooking, you know, when he's cooking up on, you know, a stovetop or a grill or at a fire, obviously he wants a way to be able to light something on fire. So that obviously plays into him being a chef and being a cook. Magic Hand, him being able to manipulate other things so that he can keep doing what he's doing, is definitely into it. And also Mysterious Mist is just him farting. It has to be. He doesn't want to, Cooper, if I was playing Cooper again, I would take Iliat. His ability to connect with people and also sleep was a big spell for him. And I'm not huge on the Book of Ava. Like, I feel like this would be more of like a warlock. Lakis also is not a deceiver. And Enrapture is something that I would like to take, but Inspiring Words is definitely more what I'm leaning into. So I can hear Kiva making noises over in the next room. So I might be going to bed. I might be bouncing out of here for a little while. We'll see. All right. So got a little bit more to do, so let's try and get this done. All right, so we picked our domain, but we need to do our description, background, and experience. So we're going to go to create background. Explore your character's background by filling out the background section of your character guide. So where's that on here? Experience, hope. Oh, here we go. Background questions. Is that the same thing that's in here? Yes. Okay, cool. Generate experience, create connections. Okay, so description. Where do we get description from? Clothes that are, eyes that are. Is that something that is on the character sheet? I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we go. Choose one or more from each of the line, or make your own. So Lakis definitely wore clothes that were oversized, but that were comfortable. Oh. Give me a couple minutes. I hear the baby crying. All right. I am back. I have baby. She'll be joining us for a spell while she eats. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so yeah. Oh. Legacy always wore clothes that were comfortable and oversized. Oh, shit. My phone's in my left pocket. One moment. Okay. Yeah, she didn't pay for a drink. I know. You're fine. Yeah, so Legacy always wore clothes that were comfortable and oversized. You know, I'm actually gonna rephrase that. We're gonna say comfortable and homely. Homely. I think that's how you spell homely. All right. Eyes. I don't know. Eyes like fire, lilacs, endless ocean, night, ivy, sea foam, earth, winter, or carnations. God, he had silver eyes like I, or he had gray eyes like I do. So I guess if we're going anything similar to that, eyes, silver as coin, I guess. I mean, he was a shop owner first. Body, oh god, here we go. Body that's stocky, thick, and round. The color of what? What is that in reference to? What? I don't like that. The color of a pasty white dude. I don't know. The attitude like a self-loathing what's the word I'm looking for? There you go. A self-loathing provider. One who will do whatever he can for whoever he can. But always has a bit of a hard view on himself. Yeah. Answer these background questions. Who from your community taught you to have... I love that. I love the fact that I say that, like, you know, he has low self-confidence. But literally the first question is, you know, who did? I guess for Lakis, if I want to kind of reinvent him a little, I guess if I were to reinvent him a little, maybe he did have like a mentor. But I'm gonna say the confidence in himself is quiet. So the thing is like, Lakis Pawlowski is obviously very much based on myself. There's a lot of qualities about myself I don't like, but there is qualities about myself that I do like. But the reality is that I am very hard on myself for those qualities that I don't like, but I embrace the stuff that I do, but I do it very quietly. And the reason for that is because if you are able to quietly reflect on the things that you do like, and you're able to put out the things that you don't, most people will understand and will see you a similar way that you see yourself, you know. But you can always hold that reserve, and people are always going to judge you based on how they want to judge you and how they want to perceive you. You know, but like I said, there are things about myself that I do like and things that I don't, but I'm much more vocal and willing to play on the stuff I don't like about myself. But that is because there is a confidence within myself to be able to handle that, you know. And even from outsiders, you know, people can make fun of me all they want. It doesn't bother me. And I will make fun of myself all I want, because it doesn't bother me, because I do have a confidence. It is just a quiet, reserved confidence. And I also don't like to talk about or brag about those confidences. Oh. You can change? You can change the questions for your background. Interesting. Well, that's good to know. Can you stop hitting the gain on the microphone? Jesus Christ. So, who in your community taught you to have such confidence in yourself? She just starts crying and then like releases a shit ton of bubbles into the bottle, and then wants the bottle right back. Who from your community taught you to have such confidence in yourself? I would probably say that was... He probably had somebody that he looked up to that ran a delicatessen. We'll say it's Tess. Okay. She immediately upon taking the bottle away, because she like spat it out, she starts crying because she wants it right back. Babies, I'll fucking tell you. All right, kid. You're going right back to where you were. I'm in the middle of something. Okay, so who was the one who gave him confidence? I'm gonna say the Tess. The delicate. I didn't know how to spell delicatessen, actually. Yeah. So in Lakis' background, one of the reasons why he wanted to open a sandwich shop is because there was a deli nearby that he kind of grew up around, and was the place that he would go to when he when he was growing up. It was kind of like his safe space. Anytime that he was having a bad day or whatever, he would go down to the delicatessen. I don't, I'll have to come up with a name for it. I need names for sandwich shops. I'll write a note for that later. God. Oh my God, somebody, the first one, the Club Sandwich Club. Jesus Christ. The Deli Queen? That's it. Charcuterie, yeah. Yeah, so we're talking about Tess. This was the owner of the Deli Queen. She was like kind of like a motherly figure to him. His real parents, his actual parents were very harsh on him. They had this ideology of him running the general store the rest of his life, but Tess, the owner of the Deli Queen, was very like motherly towards him in the way that like she would comfort him. She would, anytime he was having a bad day, he'd go there and like, would kind of like, just get that comfort food that she would provide. Come on, finish your bottle. So yeah, and she would talk about his good qualities to him. She would provide him a space to have that. And when he got older, and life was starting to move on, and eventually one day he went down to the Deli Queen, and it was now something else. It was the Mile High sub, and it was now owned, instead of it being owned by this portly halfling woman, Tess, it was now owned by a group of high elves that they made like little delicate finger sandwiches. And like, like fitness wraps and stuff like that. And so, he vowed he would open up one in her honor, cause, she had passed, she was older, Tess. And he vowed that he would share into that love. So yeah, I think that'll play into it. You were once in love. Who is it with, and how they hurt you? His wife. And she didn't believe in his dream of being a great sandwich maker, and left him for his friend, and took the family business from him, leaving him with but a small, I don't want to say fortune, but a small amount of coin to open up his own deli one day. Did he make a sandwich in honor of... No, so he didn't make one sandwich in honor of Tess. He made an entire bread option in honor of Tess. So the thing is, Tess had this way of making very thick toasted bread that she would just serve with like butter and garlic. And it was called Tess's Toast. And so in his deli, Lakis had an option where you could get your stuff on like a variety of different breads, but the one was Tess's Toast, and it would be a real thick slice of toast with butter and garlic on the outside and butter on the inside with whatever things you want. So it had a very like, you know, garlic bready flavor. You good? Good. What are you looking up there? You've only eaten 2 ounces. She's like, I don't care. I don't care. All right. You've always looked up to another bard. Who are they and why do you idolize them? Gorgon Ramsay and his so Guy Fiery and his mechanical bull companion Gorgon. It's not, no, Gorgons weren't yeah, Gorgon is the mechanical bull. Yeah. As dumb as it is, this, you know, as dumb as it is, this is what D&D, a Gorgon in D&D is. Oh my god. No, because it's already Gorgon. It's already a Gorgon. So it's Guy Fiery, and he's a fire ganassi. And his mechanical bull companion Gorgon Ramsay, because they serve dishes and food to the greatest kings and queens around. There we go. Yeah, a Gorgon is something. So the thing is in D&D, a Gorgon, yeah, so this is a Gorgon in official like monster manual. And the funny thing is that if you actually look up Gorgon on the internet, just in general, it is not that. The Gorgon, Medusa, for example, was a Gorgon, okay? It is, you know, it is kind of like the Yuan-Ti almost, where they have like snake-like bodies. Wow, thank you so much for the follow, Meezy. I'm just trying to burp my baby, and we're talking a little bit about some Greek mythology. But yeah, so Gorgons were they were these like snake-like women who could, you know, petrify people. But in D&D, they are mechanical bulls. And I think honestly what happened is at some point somebody just like messed up the name, because you can even see other people have made like Gorgon characters. You need to burp, baby. So yeah, there we go. All right, what is this? I need to look up what this is. Generate experience. In Daggerheart, your experience is one of the core ways you'll express your character's backstory and expertise through mechanics. Is that a mosquito? Damn. An experience is a word or phrase used to encapsulate a specific set of skills your characters might have because of the exciting life they have lived. You start with 2 experiences at character creation, one with a +2 and one with a +1, and you'll earn more throughout your adventures. Before choosing, you'll want to have a solid idea of who your character is. Backstory questions, blah, blah, blah. There's no list of experiences to choose from, though some examples are offered. Instead, choose a word or phrase that embodies something distinctive about your character. For example, each experience should be specific. For example, talented or focused are too broad. Okay. I like this because this is kind of the way that, like, White Wolf games like Vampire the Masquerade, and like Hunter the Reckoning, how they have their skills and you get to pick like a specific thing within that thing. So for example, if you're skilled in firearms, you can pick a specific experience in this regard of like a revolver. So anytime that you use a revolver, you are able to roll a little bit more. Or like under performance, you might be skilled in performance, but your specificity or your like, you know, specific one could be like seance or, you know, maybe puppetry, something like that. I am actually pretty into this. So I would say, so backgrounds, experience examples like backgrounds: bodyguard, con artist, merchant, noble, pirate, scholar. Okay. So interesting. All right, I will be right back. I'm gonna go put the baby down and then we'll finish up this character. Alrighty then. Okay, so I need an experience for Lakis. I'm background, specialties. Seriously? All right, well, even though she was fast asleep when I took her over there, she decided to wake up. All right, so specialties, we're going to go with sandwich maker, but I'm actually going to make this the 1. This is not a negotiation. I'll catch you. Chef to the royal family. You know what? No. Here's what we're... Jesus Christ. Here's what we'll do. This will be... nothing a sandwich can't solve. There's nothing a sandwich can't solve. As for his background, I mean, he was a merchant. I mean, even in the regard of him being, you know, working for the general store beforehand, he was a merchant. So we go. Oh, fuck. Nothing sandwich can't solve. And merchant. Okay. Create connections. All right, so you almost finished. Now time to forge your connections. These represent the relationships and personal history between you and the rest of your party, and these are right there on the character sheet. Once all players... okay, these represent between you and the rest of the party. Okay, so this is obviously not something that we're going to be making today, but we'll kind of like flesh it out as if we were. Hi. What? You didn't want any more food. You just go to sleep. I know. What made you realize you were going to be such good friends? What did I do that annoys you? Why do you grab my hand at night? Wait, what? Once all players feel comfortable with their finished or almost finished characters, summarize your characters to each other. At minimum, share your name, pronouns, character description, experiences, and the answers to your background questions. Feel free to include any details. Once everyone has shared who they'll be playing, work together to decide how their characters are connected and how you feel about each other. The connection section, McKean, when filling out experiences section, I wish there was a more direct way to link the skills sections when we type in our phrases. I felt I needed to put them. So I get that. I do. That's kind of the way that, like the White Wolf stuff, Vampire Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning. That's kind of the way that those are. Like, you have a specific, like you have a very specific thing that ties to one skill. I actually don't mind this. Because the thing is that barter, for example, like if you, okay, so for me, for Lakis, nothing a sandwich can't solve. Okay. That could be played into a moment like here. Okay. Anytime you make an action roll, if you feel like an experience could help you succeed, you can spend a hope to add its modifier. Sometimes you feel there might be more than one that's a good fit. For example, if you're trying to sneak past a guard and your experience is I live in the shadows and stealthy, if it fits the story, you can apply. Okay, yeah. So the thing is like nothing a sandwich can't solve. Okay. Um, that could be really anything, you know, that could be like a charisma thing, you know, or sorry, presence thing, where maybe I'm trying to persuade somebody to do something, and I offer them a sandwich, and like I could even change this to, you know, how about a sandwich, of like maybe that raises their hope, or maybe I'm trying to trying to climb something that's really high. And hey, you know what? Nothing a sandwich can't solve. You know, you quickly make a sandwich. You pull out a random sandwich that's like, you know, pepperoni and ham with some mustard. You bite into that, and, you know, it gives you that zeal that you need to get over there. So that could be done, you know, or it's like, oh, hey, I'm trying to convince somebody, hey, here's a sandwich, like, let's talk. Or even something like stealth, okay? While it's kind of dumb, but maybe I spend a hope point, nothing a sandwich can't solve. Cool, guess what? You make a sandwich, and you throw it out in front of the person that you're trying to sneak past. Guess what? They're like, where the fuck did this sandwich come from? Now they're distracted. And same with merchant. Merchant could really apply to a lot of things. It could apply to maybe you're trying to determine how much an item is worth. Lakis in his life would have had plenty of items come in front of him while he was running the shop. So that could play into a knowledge check. It could play into an instinct check whenever maybe there's some inventory in a shop that just doesn't seem right. You know, he knows what general inventory should be, so maybe there's something he knows. Maybe you're trying to get a better price on something. He knows the ins and outs of the business. Maybe he can talk to the guy who runs the place. Or maybe you're on the docks and, you know, you're trying to secure travel from one dock to another. So I totally get that, but the down part is explaining, convincing a DM, especially. That is true, but I totally agree with that. But I think that's where, with Daggerheart, I think DMs are going to have to not be as strict, because the entire system is based on hope and fear, which are kind of ephemeral ideologies. You know, what a hope to one character is not a hope to another. Same with a fear, and how that's explained in game is gonna have to be played up in the roleplay, which I actually appreciate. But 100%, like, the fact that this is a part of your character's backstory is something that is gonna have to be, you know, worked with a DM. And like it says even here, when you're ready, work with your DM to pick 2 experiences that have shaped your character. And I think that should be done. Like, these last 2 steps, generate experience and create connections, should be done at session 0. Like, that is my opinion on these 2. These should be done at session 0. I mean, create connections literally is, you know, it's even saying, like, in here, work together to decide this. So that, like, would be done at a session 0. But yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, which I will say I have played in D10 games with some strict game masters. One moment. So, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of the way I see it. I mean, like I said, I feel like I feel like they're definitely trying to, like, play into this being more of a social thing. But again, I have played with strict DMs in D10 systems, so I understand when you have this thing in your mind where you're like, oh, my character is a fortune teller and I have seance under performance, and it's like, you know, they have something, you're going to deal with a ghost, and there was like some items in the room that could relate to a seance, and it's like you want to play into it and your DM's like, well, yours is more about performing them, not about like figuring out the details of one that has already been performed. And it's like, that's not the point. Like, seance is seance. So yeah, I do see your point, McKean. Yeah, like I said, I think I'm gonna go nothing a sandwich, because that was Lakis's whole thing. I might change that to how about a sandwich. How about a sandwich? All right. And then, yeah. And then we're only going to be level 1, obviously. And considering things only go up to level 10, we'll have some drive later on. Obviously down here. At level 2, take an additional experience. When you level up, record it on your character sheet, then choose 2 available options from the list below. Increase 2 unmarked character traits. Well, let's see our character sheet. There we go. Inspired hero. Lakis Powalski. Do I have his portrait still? I don't think I do. Let's just find one from this folder. Oh, here we go. So this is the halfling from the player's handbook. Hey. It's okay. Hey. Okay. This is the halfling from the player's handbook, and my friends always said that this looked like me. Hold on, let me find it. Oh wait, I probably found it in here. Nope, not that one. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, that guy. My friends always said that I looked like him. Oh. All right. Well, let's change this to anyone with a link, just for reference. So equipment. Oh, let's equip that. and the dagger and the breastplate. All right. Well, I mean, oh, I got a +1. Oh, because of my rapier. Nice. Nice. Well, that's good. So, not a bad character sheet. I mean, let's be honest, it looks like a 5e character sheet. Feedback. Oh, now that's cool. See, this I actually really like. The thing I enjoyed most about Daggerheart this session was blank. The most thing I disliked. One clarification or tool I could have improved. Ah. So I'd say something like that, even on D&D, like on D&D Beyond would be nice to have like a, like, here's the thing I did like about today's session, or here's the thing I didn't like. Also, the fact that you can add these, that's slick. I brought this up recently in a chat I had with Ryan Doyle that I wish 5e, I wish D&D Beyond had a way that you could like have different panels of your own choice. View cards in vault. Oh, there's not a... Oh, okay, so that's collapsing that up. Okay. Active weapons, both my hands full. My 2 spells. Interesting. All right, well, there we go. That is my Daggerheart character. There's still a lot more that we got to go over in time. You know, how the game works and, you know, different things here and there. Barnacle is an underborn ribbit. What? Rogue. Okay. Ooh. Cool warrior. I wouldn't mind actually reading some of these on another stream. So. But, yeah, we'll take a look at these on another day. Maybe tomorrow, depending on what I have going on earlier in the day before the first 15. So I do want to go over some of this, but with the baby, I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of time tonight. So, but yeah, definitely come back tomorrow for 2 stream tomorrow. Maybe. There's a big maybe. Very much a big maybe. Ooh, wait a second. A scepter. A scepter is based in presence? And that's a main hand. And a rapier, which is what I have. Hold the phone. Manage equipment. Interesting. I'm curious about if this will let you. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Good. Okay. I want to point this out. Okay, watch. When I click rapier, it puts that as my primary, and it de-equips my scepter. Yes, I appreciate that so much, because so many times I have players in my games who will sit there and have like 7 items equipped that are on their display sheet. Like they'll have a bow, they'll have a short sword, a dagger, a great hammer, a battle axe. And it's like, no, you can have 1 equipped, or you can have 2 weapons equipped, but you can't have all these weapons equipped. And I understand that it's like really convenient to be able to see their stats like right off the bat. But the thing is that when it comes time to like actually jump into combat, if you are out there wielding your bow, but somebody's about to run away from you and you want an opportunity attack, guess what? You don't get an opportunity attack. Okay, if you're wielding if your longbow is in a bag of holding, and you have out a great sword, and there's somebody 150 feet away that you want to kill, guess what? You have to use an action to get that bow out of the bag. That's a personal thing. I like that it does that. I want to say that he would carry around a scepter, because that's what he would use. It would be like a spatula. Be a spatula. So, but yeah, we'll maybe reconvene tomorrow and go over some more of this, because I do want to look more into it. Oh, so I did do something off to the side. I wrote down a note. I'm going to work on it for tomorrow. So we talked about, obviously we went through, it's not a secret. We went through and we talked about all of these backgrounds, all these communities. I wrote a note off to the side. I'm going to work on it tonight, and we'll maybe discuss it tomorrow when we reconvene. I'm going to make a common-born background community. I think it needs to be a thing. I think common-born needs to be a thing. You don't come from high society. You don't come from the mountains. You don't come from the sea. You don't come from the Underdark or the Wild, or a library or Wizards Guild. You don't come from a church. You're not a nomad. You were stationary, and you're not from the slums. Like, you are common-born, because it's like highborn or slyborn. But you are commoner. So yeah, I would say a farmer wouldn't match that. But yeah, I would say there needs to be something where it's like, about being born into a life of simplicity, practicality, and like a communal setting where, it's like, it's everyone else. It's the farmers, it's the merchants, the workers. Like, that's where I'm at. A hobbit. Yeah. Hobbitville. No, it'll be called Commonborn. So yeah, that's what I will do. So, but yeah, we'll discuss that tomorrow after I work on it. So thanks for joining me, everyone. Thank you for those who followed. I really appreciate that. We're at 210 followers. It is absolutely insane to think that many people follow. But I do thank you for that. I appreciate it so much. Come back tomorrow. We'll be doing another stream, and we'll also be doing the first 15 at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, where we'll be playing, I don't know what we'll be playing off the top of my head. We'll be playing these games: Strayed Blade, Strayed Lights, Stray Blade, Strayed Lights, and Clash. So come back tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Say good night, Kiva.